What's going on everyone, my name is Joshua and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to talk about the mini electric street bike, the Razor RSF650, as well as do a couple mods to it. I have owned the RSF650 since June 2020. I actually got the MX650 at the same time, and I believe I said I got it in 2019 in a previous video, but I was wrong. It was 2020. So this is 3 years of ownership. When I got the RSF650, I did two simple mods to it. I made a custom seat and I swapped out the motor sprocket from the stock 11 tooth to a 13 tooth. The sprocket change was the biggest difference in terms of operation performance. It took it from a top speed of about 17 all the way up to 23. This change also made the batteries drain quicker, however the speed difference was worth it. I will say after 3 years of riding, both the RSF650 and the MX650 has worn down the battery life tremendously, and I only get about half the ride time I once did when they were new. Before recording this video, I did swap out the rear monoshock as the original broke a year ago. The new one is shorter and softer than stock and makes the ride way more comfortable. The shock is a 260mm eye-to-eye with a 450 pound resistance spring, which ended up being just a little too soft and short for my kind of riding. So I did remove the lower plastic from the frame under the seat as it was bottoming out, and I will most likely swap it out again later for a 280mm 500 pound shock. But that will be after a power upgrade or front fork upgrade, as this bike desperately needs front suspension. I've decided that I don't like how wide these handlebars are, so I'm thinking I'm going to take off about an inch on each edge. In order to measure these, what I did was I measured an inch in from this edge and used painter's tape. Inch in, and then I checked over here and I made sure it was lined up, and that way I got a straight line to follow through the top. Make it nice and easy. Ooh, that's hot. Wish I set that camera up sooner when I was putting the tape on it. Oh well, lesson learned. Also, glasses. Always use those when you're cutting, especially metal. It still can go anywhere in your eyes, and you don't want that. It's terrible. Metal fragments in here. I want to get that. Let's just use the lint roller here. Found some sandpaper. Gonna use this. Smooth this out. I want to make sure the metal itself isn't sharp. I'm sure there's safer and better ways to do this, but I'm working with what I have. I tempted to tear a piece and create a better thing. Oh, no, this works. Just want to remove any sharp metal fragments. Luckily, this is like a real light aluminum, so this is really easy to just cut and sand down. So there you go. Nice and smooth now. That's so much better already. Immediately, this already feels so much better. I haven't even ridden it yet. Lines up way better in my arm positioning. As simple of a modification as that is, it feels really good. And it was completely free. Wouldn't recommend taking off more than that if you do it. I think that would be just too much. Also, shout out to Stall for putting me on these True North energy drinks. You know that sucralose, nasty garbage flavor that any energy drink has that is 0 sugar? This doesn't have it. I'm actually addicted to these now. Yeah. While we're here out recording anyway, I guess we'll talk about how this seat is modified. The original OEM seat is under here. I just took a memory foam pillow and some fabric. Made a nice cushiony seat. The original is extremely hard, and if anybody has the MX650, it's harder than that. If you have an RS650, then you know exactly what I mean, and that made a world of difference. So keeping up with the idea of modding this thing, I randomly had the idea of putting pegs back here so I could do like wheelies and stuff while standing on them. So I got pegs, cheap aluminum ones from Walmart. They're obviously there for like a regular standard 3/8 screw on type deal. The rear axle bolt is a 12mm, so obviously that ain't gonna just work. Also, this bolt's not long enough, the stock one. I'm gonna swap it out with this rear axle bolt for a Honda CRF50. Use that rear axle because that's a 12mm but longer. And what we're also gonna do is we're gonna take this 3/8 threading hole for this foot peg and drill it out to just a straight up 1/2 inch bore. That way, it'll just slide in there, and I'll just use a socket to tighten these bolts on, and everything should just fit. Would have been doing it outside, but as you can see, it's raining. So that's the length difference. She fits. The cool thing is this came with some spacers. So if I need to, you know, pick up some space, I can use those. I don't have to worry about depending on thin little washers to do that. I can just do it with those spacers. It's hard to tell, but these are like about a 1/2 inch thick in there. So it is gonna take up space. You know, it's gonna sit like in that on both sides. Too big, so we gotta drill that out. The problem is that this is a 3/8 drill bit, and that's the size difference. Would take out the threading. Pre-drill with this one, and then drill with this one to make it the next size up. We're gonna do that. I want to hold it nice and tight without ruining it. Just enough. It's not gonna hit my floor. 3/8, 1/2 inch. This new bolt fits. So I'll be doing something like this. And these will sit right in there for me to stand on. Oh, this metal. Alright. Cat cleaned the area up, even rinsed the pegs off. This is the original axle bolt. This is the new one. Luckily, the head size is the same on both of these. Not sure the quality of metal. I'd say the one that actually comes stock with the Razor feels like a much more quality bolt. However, this one, I feel like it'll do just fine, especially since it was made for a dirt bike, and this street bike is not going to be doing the same work as a dirt bike would. Take this, push that on. I really want this washer inside of here. That actually worked. It worked. Ah. Hey, that was a good one.
That was.
My front end starts to go down. I'd be able to bring it back up if it had more power. But that is why I need to do a motor upgrade. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today as we modified the RSF650 a little bit with some changes. I can now from this point take the time to just ride and have fun for a bit till I do my next upgrade. I do think I want to add a good front fork shock mod next, so I'll be doing some research on that later. I also wanted to tell you guys that I recently released a brand new single on all music platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and more. This song is a new genre that I never produced before. It's kind of like chill wave R&B, and I would love to know what you guys think. If this song isn't your type of music, I do have 5 other singles officially released so far that touch on other genres as well. Again, thank you for watching, and if you're interested in other content types like gaming or whatever, consider checking out my other channels as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.